Even if you eat the bugs or the lentil beans, it turns out the Biden-Harris inflation has been inescapable for the typical American household. Recently, Zero Hedge revisited a Bloomberg article from 2022, the height of Bidenflation, where Bloomberg wrote, quote, "Inflation stings most if you earn under $300,000. Here's how to deal." Marie Antoinette would blush, cake and all. So Bloomberg's article was actually written by a New York professor, and here's her advice. 1, take the bus. 2, don't buy in bulk. 3, try lentils instead of meat. And 4, let your cat or dog die instead of taking them to the vet. Not a joke. She then dedicates half the article to the power of the mind, how intentional consumption makes you, quote, more resilient as you create a locus of control and interrogate your habits, in case you thought professors were out of touch. Of course, setting aside the magic locus of interrogation and the fact you'd have to be a tenured professor to be unaware that buying in bulk is cheap, the whole bus and beans thing might hit different if, say, you do not live in New York. There is no bus, or if you have children you'd prefer to feed or who actually like the family dog. Moreover, as Zero Hedge points out, even switching to bus and beans didn't work out so well. A 12-pack of lentil soup in those 2 years went from $30 to close to $50. As for other red meat substitutes, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, chicken went from $1.50 a pound to $2, up a third. Eggs went up fivefold from 80 cents a dozen pre-pandemic to $4. I know what you're thinking, but cricket protein is $24 a pound. Green does not come cheap. Of course, soaring food costs hit poor and middle-class households hardest, so food makes up just 4% of spending for the rich, 9% for the middle class, and 15% for households under $19,000. That makes food a stand-in for the general pattern of inflationary redistribution. So the money goes to the rich first, who get the new money fresh off the presses. They get it either by the Fed subsidizing loans that go overwhelmingly to the rich, or they just get it directly when the Fed does QE, quantitative easing, meaning they just buy financial assets that, of course, are also overwhelmingly owned by the rich. That money then trickles down first to the housekeepers, the nannies, and Neiman Marcus, thence to Walmart and McDonald's, and finally, years down the line, to the elderly living on Social Security. For those living on fixed pensions, of course, it never trickles to them. They are out of pocket. Each step of that Fed trickle, called the Cantillon effect, the money is worth less and less because prices have risen more and more. So the rich got full dollar, and by the time grandma gets it, years after prices rose, it is only 80 cents on the dollar. You have successfully redistributed wealth. So what's next? Brought to you by Unchained.com. So how can Americans cope with inflation? Easy. Balance the budget and end the Fed. Overturn the money printers, cast them out, and take the dog to the vet. My personal favorite is Warren Buffett's rule that if they don't balance the budget, every member of Congress must resign with a lifetime ban from politics. I'm not sure if voters are quite ready for that kind of change. It might take a lot more lentils, but when they are, it is nice to know the solution is easy. Okay, we'll be watching. See you next time.